Welcome to the Quantum Empath. I'm your host, Kelly Michelle, intuitive guide, alchemist, and reality hacker. This is a space where esoteric knowledge, ancient wisdom, personal development, and quantum physics meet to help you shift your frequency, break old patterns, and step into the life your soul came here to live. Let's expand your awareness, upgrade your energy, and create your dream reality, one episode at a time. Let's begin. Welcome to the Quantum Empath. My name is Kelly Michelle, and today my guest is Corinne Olsen. She is a conscious creator, and I discovered her amazing work on Instagram. She is the Hippie Healing on Instagram, and she's got this awesome little community over there that she's been growing. And I am so drawn to your work, and I wanted to have you on the show and get to learn a little bit about you because I feel like on Instagram, I don't get to know anything about these magical humans I'm running across, and I want to get to know you. So thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to me. And I would love to hear a little bit about you and how you started, where you're at, where you're headed. Let's chat.
Well, thank you so much. I'm Corinne. I thank you so much for inviting me onto this podcast. It's my first podcast. I'm very excited about it. Um, but yeah, I've been on my spiritual journey for a really long time since, I think we all kind of are on our spiritual journey since childhood. It's just about when do we come back to it? And I did get to come back to it in high school. So I've been exploring that awakening again for quite a while in my life and going through my own trials and tribulations, the dark night of the soul, the learning and the overcoming, so that I can get to a place where I have better capacity to hold space for others. And I can take all of the knowledge and information that I've learned through my journey. And if it helps somebody, it helps somebody. I'm very happy that this Instagram is starting to develop a bit of a community because I just started putting it's one of those things where you want to start posting, you think about it, and just life and this, that, the other, all the excuses. And eventually one day you're just like, no, I'm going to just start doing it. And it had been about 3 months and everything was a little bit slow growing, but it's finally caught a little bit of momentum and I'm getting really good feedback. And now I don't have any other commitments and I'm going full time into entrepreneurship as a spiritual, I don't know, right? To say I'm a spiritual guide, I like to say I'm a mentorship. It's kind of like an anti-guru movement because I'm not trying to say that I have this authority over you and I'm going to show you the right way. It's more about helping you remember because we all know the truth within our own selves. So helping people find their own truth and follow their own joy. And I'm just so excited to be able to have the time and energy to put towards that and to actually be making a difference in people's lives. So right now, just building the community, building new offerings and seeing what comes to me, surrendering to the universe and seeing what direction this takes.
That's amazing. I love that. Thank you for putting yourself out there. I think that as a conscious creator myself, in 2023, I started my Instagram after a lot of fear. And I started posting pretty regularly, but I would wear the filters and I would talk like this and I would have other people, experts. I was a big podcast listener, so I would let other people do the talking and I would just show myself listening because I was still afraid to speak up and use my voice. And that has definitely been a part of my process of you kind of grow into it. It's not ever easy to start, but the more you do it, how has that evolved for you?
Well, like actually, when I first started on social media about, I don't know, maybe it was about a decade ago, and I was doing health related things. I got my health coaching license. I was really excited about raw foodism, which I still am. It's just merged now into this high frequency lifestyle, spirit, mind, body, all of the things. But when I first started posting, it was all food related stuff. And I had a deal with myself, post every single day on YouTube. So I would post a YouTube video every single day of just me talking to the camera. So that was about a decade ago where I kind of crossed that barrier and I forced myself to just be comfortable with being on camera. And yeah, you try to look cute. Even now, I'll put a little, I adjust the settings on the thing to make sure I look good. But I don't think that that's like, I'm not judging myself just because I'm trying to make the picture a better quality, right? Like it's fine. But I got used to talking on camera way back then. But I was in a pretty traumatic relationship for 15 years, and I had started that during that relationship. And at some point I had to drop it. I had just so much else going on in my life. And so I took a big 6 year hiatus from that food content till now. So it was more about like, because I had taken such a big break, it wasn't about getting on camera because I had already done that. I guess it was about just like being ready. You're always like, oh, well, when XYZ is in place, when these things in my life are in place, that's when I'll be ready to take this next step. But then at some point you're like, is all of those things going to really be in alignment? When is the right time? So I just started, which I'm so grateful that I started when I did, because now it's off season. I live in a tropical place, so we have off season. So now it's off season, and my business, the online thing, is taking off enough that I can devote all of this time and energy into starting that. So I'm really glad that I started before off season started. I already have this momentum. But yeah, I actually saw a lot of posts when I first started filming and posting again, because you know how the algorithm knows that you're doing this, so they send you that kind of content, about how filming yourself and watching yourself talking on camera, both it helps your brain with being able to speak fluently, getting your ideas across. It helps your brain looking at your own face and learning to love and appreciate your face, getting more comfortable with just seeing your own face. And I think those are really great psychological benefits, like mental health benefits to filming and posting. So even if it's not about like, oh, I need XYZ people to watch this, the goal isn't really about what happens after you put the video out. It's just about saying what you need to say and making the video and being happy with the product.
I agree. And I coach when I coach my clients, I tell them too, you don't have to be some spiritual guru to have an online presence.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a plumber who shows people how to change out something under their sink. You can be a mechanic who shows people what nuts and bolts to use.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people who lead a successful lifestyle doing what they love while having an online presence as well to help support the thing that they love to do, right?
Yeah.
That's my goal, is to be able to share information and wisdom and get the information out in front of the people to help others.
Mm-hmm.
Normalize the fact that we don't all necessarily need to go to a corporate office
Mm-hmm.
and do the 8 to 5 thing to be considered successful in life. And depending on how you wage your success, we can have success living in a tropical climate somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. And it
And
is all
really experiencing it.
it's all about following your passions. It's all about following that highest excitement. And this is how, because what we're doing is we're trying to build the new earth and bring that, because the new earth is here. We're just trying to dismantle these old systems, but not in such a way that causes this post-apocalyptic narrative, but in just such a way where we're not sitting here waiting for government systems to change. We are just building our own community systems that help. So if the system right now is you have to learn how to, oh no, the system right now is you have to take your car to Jiffy Lube, whatever, to the mechanic every time something's wrong with it. But instead, we have people who are passionate about cars, and they go online and they have a social media presence teaching people about how to take care of their car. Now knowledge is being shared and people are empowered to be able to do things for themselves. This is how we change those systems, is by not making it so like cut and dry. This is the way that it's done, because obviously the way that we've been doing it hasn't really been working out so well. And if we all follow our passions naturally, that communal way of living, that new earth will come, because that's the alignment is through following our emotions. That's how you find that new earth alignment.
Yes. And I look at my business. Well, my former business was a housekeeping company,
Mm-hmm.
and I worked for about 13 families. That
Wow.
was all I needed. I didn't have to have every single house to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And that was peer to peer. I was word of mouth, and I was the face of my company. And yeah, there are people out there who have bigger dreams to manage bigger companies and have employees and all that. And that I don't believe that's for me, but I like working with people one on one in that little kind of comfortable space where I can really get to know somebody at the soul level because the work that we're doing is really deep, intimate stuff. And I don't want to treat it like a fast food restaurant. I just don't. It feels yucky to me to rush people in and rush them out. I want to make sure people are leaving there empowered to
Hmm.
be able to brush their own teeth in between cleanings, to
Yeah.
be able to take out their trash in between cleanings, all of that. I'm all about empowerment. And I think most of the new earth entrepreneurs are. We want to empower other people to empower themselves.
Hmm.
It's not the pedestal thing.
Yeah,
So
it's shared. It's shared.
shared.
I have my passions and interests might be different from yours, and we'll find where they converge and what I can take from you and what you can take from me, and how that'll better both of our lives in this communal bettering of lives. We all just learning to fill our own cups so that we can overflow for each other, as opposed to just pouring from empty all the time, which is where a lot of people are at because those are the systems we're trying to dismantle, the systems that leave us empty. So it's that shift that we're walking through right now.
And I like to call it, sometimes I like to call it the new Renaissance. And I don't know.
I've heard that in
I,
non-spiritual spaces, they're saying that as well.
right.
Yeah.
And I see it because I love history.
Hmm.
And I think about the Renaissance era as that time when we were artisans and musicians and kind of rebellious. And if you study that era of time, I think we're going back into that where we can have an artist type presence and put our videos online of our art and people will know about us.
Hmm.
I mean, the other option is packing up all your art and going around to trade shows or having a gallery space, but it's still doable. You can still get creative and work until you feel comfortable going full time
Hmm.
into your passion or whatever fun things you have going on. What do you think?
Well, I am in my personal business trying to bring a hybridization of online connection and real life in-person things. So I live in St. John, and both not only are there a lot of tourists that come down here, so I do local sound baths and tarot card readings and full moon ceremony sometimes. But not only do I like to help connect with the tourists, because these are people from all over the country that maybe have never had a sound bath. So I'm kind of like, making these connections, exposing all these different people, but then also wherever you're living, the local community. So I love putting on community events, and I'm really hoping to dive more into that next year, this coming up season. It's just being able to build up. I'm going to be starting this holistic fair that's just going to gather all of the people, essentially all of the new earth businesses, practitioners, thought shakers, movers, thinkers, and from this island locally, and bring them all into a fair together where we invite the public in and we make it really accessible for people to come. So I think that there's a mix. And then not just because the way I'm describing it right there is very separate, like the online world and then my on island world are two different sets of people. But as both of those parts of my passions grow, they're going to come more and more together because I'm going to start hosting more retreats. I'm going to start offering more of the courses and online services, whatever it is, to people here on island. And I'm even going to eventually host hybrid summits where there's like online webinar type classes that you can attend, like a 3-day like summit where you can attend it online or you can attend it in person. So I'm working on a whole variety of ways to bridge the two because I think that the internet is extremely helpful, but it also can be dangerous if we like completely ignore the place that we are currently. Obviously, everybody's in different places. So depending on the nuances of your life, it's different, but we should all try to collaborate with our community, find people online if we need to do that as well. And then if there's any way to bridge the two so that it's not just two completely separate worlds, because I'm all about that non-duality, like bring it into unity. I think that's the way forward. And because too, I also think that as we ascend, right, our physical bodies and the earth through long period of time is ascending to a higher vibrational state of being. And all of these psychic abilities will become available to us. And we can see that in the third density or where we are now. We've created technology in order to mimic these things that we know are like innate and divine gifts within us, like telepathy, right? So we call people on the telephone, but in the fourth density, we'll be able to use telepathy, right? So we're all just like slowly moving our way towards this whole higher vibrational set of being, set of earth. I'm sorry, I might have gone off on a tangent there a little bit, but
I love it. I love it because you're in your flow. I can tell.
yeah,
I've I tried my best to just let people because I can see your channel. And that was how it sounds when someone is passionate
yeah.
about their vision because there's no uhs, there's no hesitation. It will just pour from your mouth like a faucet.
I
And
also
so I
do.
think it's beautiful.
I get ahead of myself sometimes though, and I'll hit this wall and I'll kind of like forget a little bit what I was talking about because my words and my thoughts are like not at the same speed, but we're working on it.
Yeah, I get it too. I think and a lot of us probably would land on a spectrum of,
Yes,
big
yes.
brain. But my thing is, I think for a lot of us that are doing the sound healing, that do work with the binaural beats, and we're working with the vibrational healing modalities and energy work, we start turning on our brain, like the full thing. The neurotransmitters start wiring and firing differently. And both of my kids are very, very brilliant in their own right. And I see their wheels turning, and it's because they've been exposed to all the stuff that I do. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you're a little genius now because we turned on all your brain.
Yes, yes.
So it's really interesting.
That's part of the whole thing about as we are ascending and as our bodies are shifting into this new lighter kind of state of being where we have more telepathic powers, our bodies need different fuel. We need different, our nervous systems are changing. That's why it's really important to eat well, to take care of your physical body, exercise, nervous system regulation. All these things are so important because it is our physical body is coming with us through the ascension process. And if we don't give it the tools that it needs, then we end up draining ourselves and feeling really burnt out because we can't sustain the capacity for that high frequency. Really high frequency energies are coming through. That 5D energy grid is locked in. And if your body, your physical body, not even your mind or your spirit, but your physical body is still very dense in that third density, you're going to get wiped out every time the Schumann resonance hits. You're going to get wiped out from the full moon. I mean, yeah, energies are still going to affect you, but you shouldn't feel so on this energetic roller coaster like it's out of your control. You should be on it like you're like, woohoo, we're having a great time, these waves of energy. So if you do feel like, I mean, not you specifically, but if anybody ends up feeling like they're having ascension symptoms, because that's what's happening when our physical bodies are trying to increase this capacity for high vibrational energy, just take a better look at your physical self, like your body, your diet, your health, your exercise, all of those routines. Nervous system regulation, very important.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for saying that because a lot of times I feel like I am just repeating myself and speaking to a brick wall. So it's nice to have that second opinion,
Mm-hmm.
um, especially for my friends and family that listen that might think I'm crazy. I tell them we are organisms on this earth, and as she raises her vibration, we are raising ours. And so to ground and to hydrate and to get the sleep. And a lot of us that have been in this realm for a while, this kind of healing part of us and awareness of the ascension coming, have been preparing our bodies. I've done a lot of fasts, a lot of juice cleanses, a lot of parasite cleanses. And so I feel like I might be going through this easier. Plus, I have a harmonic egg. So
Mm-hmm.
that is also helping me. But for other people, there are multiple ways. And typically when I have people on the podcast, I'll be honest, I usually send them my 3-week house clearing so they can experience it before we get on the podcast. But I'll have to do that for you after if
Yeah.
you're into it, and maybe we can catch up and see how it helps. But
Yeah.
it's so fascinating because I knew it worked all over the country. And now if I sent it to you, I could say it works all over the world, which
Yeah,
I know that
amazing.
too.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to check that out for sure. Yeah, there's many
But
different modalities that people can use to help with these things. But as long as they don't feel powerless and they go out and they look for the things, the modalities that excite them the most to help them through this transition, you can overcome any of these ascension symptoms that you might be feeling. You can have an easy, graceful, fun time through this spiritual journey, you know?
it's super fun.
Yeah.
I've never had so much fun in my
Yeah.
life because I'm constantly learning new information. And I don't just learn information, I try it.
Yeah.
So when I first started learning about water and water holding consciousness, I literally laid out a big piece of paper with different words and I wrote on each of the glasses and I froze all of these 8 different cups of water at the same time with different words. And then I did tuning forks on some of them and I microwaved one of them and then I did microwaved and then I did a tuning fork. It's so you can literally see the difference in all the water.
That's
And
crazy.
if, yeah, if I had just read it in a book, it's not embodied.
Right.
But when I did the experiment for myself, then I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to pray to my water. Yeah, I'm going to love on my water.
Yes. Yeah.
And even if I'm in a predicament where I have to buy a bottle of water, I'll hold it to my heart and I'll just send it love
Mhm.
and a blessing and restructure it because I'm sure it's been through the ringer. We can restructure our water before we drink it.
Mhm.
I did write liquid death on one of the sides of the cups because that's the name of that brand name
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
And it's a trip. I'll have to download that video and re-upload it because it's way back in the way back
Yeah. That
archives.
sounds very interesting. I love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other things you would advise people for if they're just getting started on this journey, or if maybe they're ready to step into the next level of the game and really step into their mission? What
Right.
would you?
I would say, well, my advice for anybody getting into a spiritual journey or any point in your spiritual journey is to always trust your own discernment first. Anything that you learn, it's not to say you can't go out and learn from teachers. Please do learn from all sorts of different pieces of information, but always bounce it back between about what resonates with yourself. And don't just accept something because some authority said that it's correct. Because something that's even super ancient and 90% of it makes sense, if that one thing doesn't make sense for you, don't take it, you know? Don't don't allow yourself to release any of your authenticity in the sake of spiritual attainment because that's not. And I watch a lot of things that are about cults and these high control groups, and that's why I think that it's so important because a lot of times people don't even see that it's happening. You think that you could easily avoid it, but you don't even see that it's happening because it's this slow step by step process. But if you always check everything in with yourself and use your discernment and judge, you can take it or leave it if you want to, then you'll know that I mean, it should keep you fairly safe as opposed to trying to sign your sovereignty over. I'm all about sovereignty first, spiritual self sovereignty first. You are the master and commander of your own life. And I'm like, I love that whole. I know when people say main character syndrome, they're trying to talk about people who are abusing it. And essentially, if you are the main, everybody is a main character. If you're the main character of your own movie, don't you want to be like a hero and not an asshole, right? Because people who are main character syndrome online, a lot of times they're just like a movie that you don't want to watch about somebody who kind of sucks, right? I'm not judging those people. I'm just saying generally that's what the vibe when they say main character syndrome. But I think everybody should take main character syndrome to the heart and do it a little differently. You are the main character of your own movie. But don't you want to be a good character? Don't you want to be somebody that you would root for on the screen that you're watching? So, I don't know exactly. That's about your sovereignty. Relate that back to your sovereignty and your own discernment about all these things when you're journeying through things. When I first got into the spiritual world, I was really interested in witchcraft and there was like deities. And I didn't want to worship anything above me. It felt weird. I had already gotten rid of Catholicism. I was like, that's not really my vibe. I don't get it, but I'm interested. Like, how do I learn? And it took me years to come to a type of conclusion that would allow me to work with deities. And it was the fact that, oh, well, they're just ascended masters. They've gone down the path before me. Linear time is an illusion. So the fact that they've gone down the path before me is just a story that I'm giving myself for the sake of this experience. It's not like they're actually ahead of me in any actual concrete, measurable way. It's just for the sake of this experience. So, like a friend, you would ask for advice. I can look towards, I I love Kuan Yin and I love Mother Mary, and I call them in sometimes when I'm just trying to feel their energy, but it's more of this relationship as opposed to a worship. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's when you learn that you are the highest spiritual authority in your life, no matter what, then you can go out and explore all these different spiritual paths with a sense of safety. Because also the external world, all of the people in your life, this entire reality is this beautiful, interesting, creative story that consciousness has created for you to explore. So please go explore it to the ends of the world, follow all of your passions, go down every rabbit hole. And another thing I would say too, because especially about the rabbit holes, I love conspiracies, and I'll go down a conspiracy loop about things that I don't believe. I'm not a flat earther, but I love listening to flat earth people sometimes, or like having a conversation with them. I'm just fascinated about your beliefs. But and then there's, of course, the like more devious, evil conspiracies. If you're passionate about that, if you're interested in it, please explore it, but don't let fear control the narrative. Go into
Mm-hmm.
it like you're reading a book, you're amused by the storyline. I mean, that's not to put down anybody's suffering, because that is very real. But if you approach any of these situations with fear, the fear is what is controlling you. Fear is just disempowerment. Fear is telling you that you have no control over the situation, that you're powerless, but you need to step back into your spiritual sovereignty and know that through your spiritual sovereignty, you then are like a little radar bringing to other people that they see it, and then they light up their spiritual sovereignty, and then they see it. And collectively, as a collective, when we all regain that spiritual sovereignty, the fear is eliminated, their control is gone, and that's how we can actually help alleviate all this suffering. Because every one individual person, especially when we're all just like struggling to survive, it's nearly impossible for us to, how am I supposed to make a difference for all these people suffering all around the world? How am I supposed to start where you are, spread your love and light, and tell and encourage everybody else to do the same? Well, it's not your job to wake anybody up. It's not your job to save the world. You can influence that. You can allow that offering to be available. I'm a projector in human design. I don't know you know much about human design,
Yeah.
but in human design, and I don't know too much about it, but I know they said about projectors, they were like, you need to wait for somebody to come to you. Don't offer the
Mm-hmm.
invitation. But I'm like always like sitting here alone with nobody to talk to, being like, I want to start a podcast. I want to do this. Like, hey, random person, you're kind of my friend. Are you interested in joining me? And it never worked out. Until I realized, and this is part of the reason why I started posting again, I realized that I forgot where I read it. You're supposed to show yourself to the world, be available. You're not giving an invitation just because you're being seen, just because you're letting the information that you have be available to others. You're not offering an invitation. You're just letting yourself be seen. And then those who are interested will come to you and they will send you the invitations. And I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to start posting. I'm just going to start speaking my mind. And I've already had a few other collaborations, and this is my first podcast. So like, these are the invitations I've been asking people to start a podcast with me or to do a podcast with me for years. And then I just stopped asking other people and just started doing it for myself. And the other people, the right people showed up. And
Do
then
you have your own podcast?
no. I don't have
Oh,
my own
okay.
podcast, but actually I am tomorrow recording a Zoom call with a girl I met on Instagram, and we are going to film a podcast. But I don't know if we're going to be putting it on podcast platforms. I think we're just going to upload the video to YouTube and then cut it up into shorts. So I have just last week started that, which is really cool because I had been following her since for years now, because she was a vegan on a Food Network show, and I thought that was super cool. Nothing about spirituality, so I followed her. And then just recently when my account blew up, she reposted one of my videos, and I was like, oh my God, I have been following you for years. And then it was a cool little cosmic connection. But I just wanted to say one more thing too, because I know it's been a lot, but about your advice for people on their spiritual journey. Follow your discernment, all of that good stuff. But the other thing is like, the teacher will come when you're ready. I remember I was sitting there all alone in California in this bad relationship, just feeling like I need I need to deepen my spiritual practice. That's my desire, but I don't know how. I don't know what to do. The teacher will come when you're ready. Definitely like meditation and these kinds of practices are great. But my biggest piece of advice now that I didn't know then is just follow your excitement. So in any given moment, because everything is spiritual, you don't need to find some specific breath work thing. Every part of your life, doing the dishes is spiritual, right? So, I mean, obviously doing the dishes might not be your excitement, but generally we're following our excitement. Is a clean kitchen your excitement? Like that's the kind of thing. In every single moment, make it spiritual, make it sacred. Accept and embrace and integrate that spirituality with what your regular life is. It doesn't have to change. You don't have to get rid of life that you're living because it seems so third density. No, just embrace it because everything is already as spiritual as it can possibly be. And then through that, follow your excitement because your emotional compass is pointing you towards your highest self. It's pointing you towards alignment. And it's so simple. And it's so funny that it took me so long to know this. Obviously, I pretty sure it was Bashar, the follow your highest excitement, that first got me there. But it makes it so clear because you're like, how do I know what's alignment? Bro, you have a built-in mechanism right inside of you. If it feels good, it's aligned. Like it's so
Hmm.
simple, and it's hard for people to realize that spirituality can be so simple. I can make all these videos talking about deep metaphysics and all this crazy stuff because it's interesting and I like it. But I also want to just always break it down to be like, literally, spirituality is the most simple possible thing. Nothing exists, it's all an illusion, and just feel good. The experience is the only thing that matters. So just follow good feelings. And with that said, honor and respect the good feelings of other people too. So obviously, without taking the rights away from another person, follow your good feelings. Nothing matters except for the experience you're having. And suddenly, when you get rid of all that shame and fear, everything just starts clicking and working out and flowing for you.
It sure does. And listen to that flow, girl. You are so in your flow. I love you. I love the genius that's coming out of you. And I get that way too, given an opportunity. So it's really fun to see you shining. Thank you, because I do believe that one bright light in a room can change the world. And for each one of us, and we're all over the world.
Mhm.
This particular group of volunteers that came here to help people remember that they are sovereign too, that they are magical human beings. I just want people to remember. That's what I'm here for, to remind them. I'm not here to be a guru.
Mhm.
The thing that was coming up for me lately was the Mary Poppins. And it's like I pop into people's lives. I'm there when I need to be, and then I'm like poof and I leave.
I never made
And
that connection about her name. She just pops in. I never
pops
thought of
in.
that. That's
I
great.
know Mary pops in and she pops out.
I love
And
that.
so I feel like there's a connection and maybe a little thread of Mary Poppins running through the collective
Yes.
because we're not here trying to build dependence on us. We are here to empower and move on.
Mhm.
And then if they need us to come back, yeah, we can come and straighten, but we are one and the same.
Mhm.
So thank you for your time. And I look forward to seeing your new creations, everything that you put your hands on, I hope turns to magic because you really are a light in the world.
Awesome.
Thank you for
Yeah.
putting yourself out there.
I just want to give myself a little plug at the very end. I'm always coming up with new offerings, ideas. Right now, I have a free weekly meditation masterclass. I also have one-on-one readings and mentorships. But check out the website and it's got all the things on there. It's hippiehealing.com, HIPPIE healing.com.
Great. Thank you, Corinne.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for
Okay.
having me. This was
You're
a lot
welcome.
of
It was
fun.
fun. I've got full chills. We'll
Awesome.
talk soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And in case you missed it during the show, just remember you can reach me at www.staytunedsoultherapy.com. You can find all my goodies and services there or in my link tree. Thank you for being here. Your subscriptions, your follows, your shares, they all mean the world to me as I proceed on this path, helping with the Great Awakening and reminding you what an amazing, powerful soul you truly are.